Hi everyone. Welcome to this tutorial where we will show you how to conduct person of interest investigations using OSINT and Maltego. Let's get started. We will follow the digital footprints of two public individuals, Ina and Mark Clotet, starting with their names and then pivoting into more personal identifiers. Our goal is to show OSINT analysts and investigators some practical methods and tools to use when dealing with criminal cases and protecting a person of interest from external threats. This demo is intended for professional use. We will follow 6 steps to gather as much relevant information on our targets as possible and share hints for using it as starting points for further investigation. First, we will search for official data about our targets, including their location and personal websites. Next, we will trace the digital breadcrumbs our targets have left behind and find websites associated with them. We will then delve into their official and private social media profiles, collecting profile images and gaining insights into their closed networks. Moving on, we will dig into a company that both targets seem to be affiliated with, and then map the infrastructure of their websites in search of more detailed information, such as personal email addresses. Finally, we will use our findings to search for phone numbers associated with the targets. Let's start with a simple discovery to identify basic information and connections of our targets. We will start by opening up a new graph and dragging 2 phrase entities onto the graph. We will change the input value from default to the aliases of our 2 targets, Ina Clotet and Mark Clotet. As we know that our targets are famous actors, we will start our investigation by right-clicking on the phrase entities and running the Search Page Titles Wikipedia transform to find their official Wikipedia pages. Then, we will use the To Links Found on Web Page transform to retrieve a list of websites mentioned on their Wikipedia pages. 2 results here are particularly important as they lead to the official websites of Ina and Mark Clotet. These will be valuable starting points as we dive deeper into this investigation. We also want to pull out other relevant information mentioned on those Wikipedia pages, like locations and names. To do that, we will run the To Entities IBM Watson transform. In doing so, we retrieved a list of names that are potentially connected to our targets in a shared location, that is Barcelona, Spain. You can run the To Entities IBM Watson transform on different website entities whenever you are looking to extract useful information like names of organizations, locations, email addresses, people, and images from the web pages you are investigating. Moving on to step 2, our goal here is to find websites associated with our targets and extract relevant information from them. We will open a new graph and once again pivot from phrase entities. This time, however, we will use some dorking techniques and add quotation marks around the input text to increase the accuracy of our transform results. Next, we will run a series of transforms, starting with To Website using search engine. This will help us identify as many websites where the names Ina Clotet or Mark Clotet are mentioned. The results include documenting websites as well as personal and business websites. We want to gather contact information from one of those websites, as this will serve as a starting point to investigate professional contacts of our targets and aid in profiling and potentially revealing connections to their secondary or hidden profiles. As an example, we will pivot from the www.inaclotet.com website using the 2 URLs Show Search Engine Results transform to obtain a URL entity that we can pivot from using the To Links Found on Web Page transform, which will return a collection of links found on this website. We decide to dig deeper and focus on one link in hopes of finding contact information. To do this, we will employ the 2 email addresses found on web page and 2 phone numbers found on web page transforms. Interestingly, Maltego returned a collection of entities pointing to email addresses, such as esther@paperstreet.es, and phone numbers that are likely linked to talent managers. If we want to verify the retrieved data, we can double-click on the entity on which we ran the transforms and view the page by clicking on Open All URLs. Analysts can use this feature to take note of other relevant information, such as date of birth, names of family members, or country of residence, if available on those websites. This data can be important in the later stages of your research, so keep that in mind when you launch your own investigations. Let's now circle back to the list of discovered businesses and personal websites, and this time focus on a website connected to Mark Clotet. We will try to find his business website by checking his Wikipedia page. To that end, we'll once again employ the 2 URLs show search engine results and 2 links found on web page transforms. But this time, we want to dig even deeper. We will try to explore snapshots from previous website versions using the 2 snapshots transform provided by Wayback Machine. This way, we can look for historical data like email addresses or phone numbers. To do this, we will first run the 2 email addresses transform on all retrieved snapshots. And then run the 2 phone numbers found on web page transform on the entity that provided us with a couple of email addresses. We can then follow up with the same data breach check, just like before, to enhance our search for an online footprint. Let us now move to step number 3 and open a new graph to map the social media profiles of our targets. This time, let us start with 2 person entities and run the 2 social media profiles transform from the Google Social Network Transforms collection. Maltego will fetch a collection of social media profiles associated with our person entities, together with shared images. To streamline our analysis, we can narrow down the graph to show only those entities that we find relevant. We have the option to remove unwanted entities, or select only the relevant ones and copy them to a new graph. If you take a closer look at the selected profiles on our new graph, you will discover that these accounts are usually public and have thousands of followers. We do, however, seem to have identified a personal Instagram account named Ina Clotet Friends. We think it is a personal account because of the accompanying biography you will see when opening the URL in your browser. It says, Page Just for Friends, official page at Ina Clotet. This feature in Maltego can provide valuable support to your investigation and help you verify your initial assumptions. Since it has become quite common for public figures to use Instagram for both private activities and public promotion, we will now focus on mapping their Instagram activities and mutual connections. We will first use the previously discovered usernames Ina Clotet and Mark Clotet To extract Instagram entities in a new graph using the getInstagramUser transform. Then, we will map out the profiles they follow and those that follow them back by running the findMutualFollowing transform. The transform returned a large collection of relevant profiles. There are some following relationships to private accounts, indicating a potentially close relationship between the owners of those accounts and our targets, especially since these accounts also follow the targets back. This discovery could serve as a valid starting point for further investigations of a similar nature. There is also one Instagram account that appears to be a company named Funicular Films. We will investigate it further in the next step. In a person of interest investigation, it is important to consider the professional relationships and affiliations of our targets. This will be the focus of our next step. In our previous search, we found a link to an entity called Funicular Films, which seems to be the name of a company. Let's follow this lead and examine how it connects to our targets. We will drag a phrase entity onto the graph, change the input value to Funicular Films, and run the toWebsite using search engine transform to find websites related to this entity. From the returned collection, we will select what seems to be the official website, which is funicularfilms.com, and run the toURLs show search engine results transform on it to find relevant pages. There are two pages that caught our attention: Team Funicular Films and About Us Funicular Films. Let's explore them further by running the toEntities IBM Watson transform that we also used in the discovery stage. We see that our targets are affiliated with the company they follow on social media, a link that validates the accuracy of our investigation results. Funicular Films also appears to be linked to various locations worldwide, including Barcelona, Spain. This aligns with the location of the actors we discovered in Step 1. If we wanted to delve deeper into the company or its officers, or if we intended to investigate another company in a similar manner, we could make use of specific transforms from Open Corporates or Orbis Bureau van Dijk, which are specifically designed for conducting company investigations. However, for our current investigation, we want to primarily focus on exploring the online presence of our two targets. In Step 5, we want to map the infrastructure of the websites connected to Ina and Mark in search of more detailed information, such as their personal email addresses. To do that, we will paste a couple of website domains discovered in previous steps as domain entities onto a new graph and use the domain tools data source to begin our infrastructure investigation. We first want to find associated historic email addresses. We will use the DT domain to historic email transform and pivot from them using the DT email to historic domains transform to find other domains registered with the same email addresses. As you can see, among the email addresses we found, two of them seem to be the personal Hotmail accounts of Mark and Ina. This discovery holds great value in person of interest investigations because it enables us to find out more about a person's online footprint and uncover more specific identity intelligence. The reason why we use historic search is because it was a common practice in the past to set up websites using personal emails. Over time, the ownership of these domains may have changed, especially due to the increased popularity of our targets. While the current up-to-date website registry information might not help our investigations, the historical data from domain tools can still provide the insights we need. Alternatively, we may also pivot from domain entities to the person or company that registered the domain using the DT domain to historic registrant transform to find other connecting points. In the last part of our demo, we want to explore the personal sphere of our targets. We will take our recent finding, namely the target's private email addresses, and look for matching person profiles using People. People is the largest identity database in the world, and the People transforms in Maltego take input such as a name, email address, phone number, and others, and search within their database to find matching person entities. From a People person entity, we can further query the database to discover other personal information, such as career history, associated persons, hobbies, and more. Let's see how it works. We will pivot from the identified private email addresses using the toSearchPerson People transform, and narrow down our search by providing additional information that we discovered in previous steps in the wizard to refine our search. For example, we have established a connection between the actors in Barcelona, Spain, so we will insert a country code ES for Spain. Maltego retrieved the names of Mark and Ina, indicating that the email addresses likely belong to them. Interestingly, the search also yielded the most probable age for Mark, which is 43. Let's delve deeper into their profiles and discover more personal information by running the toExpandInFull People transform. Our findings include Ina's personal Gmail account, a collection of phone numbers, and locations associated with our targets. In fact, we can also see the precise address of the location connected to Mark in the detail view, which appears to be a private house when viewed on Google Maps. We also managed to obtain a URL leading to a website that contains Ina's profile, featuring additional personal information such as her photo, educational background, and the languages she speaks. As the next step, we want to identify the retrieved phone numbers employing the toLookUpPhoneNumber OpenCNAM transform. This led to discovering entities associated with the numbers, revealing details such as the names of our targets and location indicators. Congratulations! You've reached the end of the example of a personal reconnaissance process that investigators can perform using Maltego. To quickly recap, we started with 2 names to discover their personal websites, location, and names of people they are associated with. Expanding further, we delved into their online presence, exploring their professional websites, domains, and related entities, and searched for breach data. Then, we identified the official and private social media accounts of Ina and Mark with profile pictures and looked more closely at their network of social contacts. Moving forward, we investigated a company called Funicular Films that is affiliated with both targets. Later, we traced domains connected to our targets back to their personal email addresses. Finally, we used those email addresses to find more detailed personal information, including private phone numbers and a home address, which added another layer of understanding to our investigation. From the entities returned to our graph, we could of course investigate deeper and wider, such as pivoting into a reverse image search using TinEye or image analyzer transforms, or conducting a network footprint using the target's email addresses and map an even more extensive online and infrastructure network of the person of interest with Maltego machines. You can read about that on our blog. We hope you enjoyed this demo. Don't forget to download your free Person of Interest Investigations cheat sheet with a detailed workflow example, and read the blog version of this tutorial on our website. The links are in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below, and share the video with your friends, colleagues, and teams. As always, happy investigating.